好，歡迎大家翻到嚟我哋嘅新加坡嘅升學頻道啊 ，Dennis 啦，同埋 Steve。咁今日咧，我哋咧依然係會介紹新加坡嘅院校嘅。咁我哋今日好榮幸啦，咁邀請到新加坡一間好優質嘅一間中小學聖法蘭西啦，聖法蘭西維斯利嘅學校啦。咁嚟到我哋嘅頻道咧，為各位香港嘅家長同學生咧，介紹翻呢間院校同埋佢哋入邊嘅課程嘅。咁聖法蘭西呢間學校咧，其實係一間一條龍嘅中小學。佢由小學去到高中咧，都係設置有唔同類型嘅課程嘅。咁而且呢一間係當地嘅一間教會學校啦，咁亦都係吸引咗好多本地啦同埋國際學生嘅申請嘅。咁近年嚟香港嘅學生亦都係好多嘅香港嘅學生咧，亦都有申請呢間學校嘅原因係因為佢哋嘅學費相對嚟講咧係同政府嘅中小學嘅學費相近啦，而且佢哋都有好多嘅唔同嘅課程選擇，咁令到好多嘅香港嘅家長同學生咧都深受歡迎嘅。咁我哋今日咧邀請到咧聖法嘅校代啦 JS 咧，咁嚟到我哋頻道嘅 Hello JS。Hello
everyone。
我哋以下嘅時間咧就交翻俾 JS 咧介紹翻聖法呢間學校啦，同埋佢哋設置嘅課程。
Everyone, maybe I will just introduce you about myself. My name is Jin Chen, so you can call me JS. I'm from the marketing department, student recruitment department of St. Francis Methodist School. So you're currently looking at our the PowerPoint screen. So just a brief introduction about our school. Our school was established in 1960. So this is actually our 61st year anniversary to this year. Then so far we have been doing 12 years of education, which is from the P1, February 1 to year 12. So total of 12 years of education. And then later I will talk to you more about our multiple pathways as well as our teachers. So currently our school is not that big, so we have around 600 students in total. And the class size would we have around 25 students on average. Then we are considered as a local private school, and we more than 90% of our students are actually international students from 20 over plus country. So moving forward, this is actually our vision and mission as a school. So we are under the Methodist Church. So our vision is actually to have a vibrant international learning community where the life are inspired and changed through the word of God. So we are considered as kind of like a mission school. So our mission is actually to provide a nurturing environment where our students would grow and then also to build the strength of character, etc. So if we go forward, this is actually our core values. And we are purpose-driven, we are courage. So the courage, integrity, humility, and respect. So this is actually the core values of our school. So why do we choose St. Francis? Why parents and students they would choose St. Francis? So just now, as I mentioned, our school is actually a mission school with charity status. And also, we are a full regular school. So we have full programs, international and as well as local programs, which I will introduce you. And also just now, I have also mentioned that we are an international and inclusive learning environment. So basically, most of our students here, they are international students. So they would learn from each other as well as they will learn to respect each other. So for the teachers wise, we have highly qualified teachers, and then they are locally trained. Also, the academic pathways, we have multiple pathways as well. So I will continue. And okay, next we will talk about the St. Francis learning journey. So basically, as mentioned just now, we have a total of 12 years of education in our school. And starting from the primary level, we have a total of 6 years program, and it's called the Cambridge Primary Program. So after the students have graduated from this program, they will be getting an international primary certificate, which will enable them to join our year 7 and year 8. So we will talk about we will talk about the English immersion program further. Let's skip to the Singapore Cambridge Lower Secondary School program, Year 7 and Year 8. So this is in Singapore, we have a total of 4 years of junior high school and 2 years of senior high school, in total of 6 years. And for the 4 years, out of the 4 years, the first 2 years, the students that would be doing the same program, which is the Singapore Cambridge Lower Secondary program, Year 7 and Year 8. And after that, they would progress to Year 9, which they would join either IGCSE or GCE O-Level or the OSMED program. So for these 3 programs itself, it's actually equivalent, just that they are of different system. So for the IGCSE, it's actually the UK system, and the O-Level is actually from Singapore, and the OSMED will be from the Australia. So there will be a total of 2 years of program. And for the IBFP program, which we are planning to open up, it's still under the approval, under the pending still pending for CPE's approval. So for now, we don't have the class yet. And if we go back to the EIP program, so this EIP program, the reason that I skipped the program just now is because it's actually a foundation year, applicable for those students who are applying for Year 7 or Year 8. So the student who applied for Year 7 or Year 8, maybe they would have some troubles in their languages, that they need more help. So after they have sat for our admission test, we might place them into this foundation program for a year before they would join the mainstream class. So if you go to the 2 years program for the senior high school, we are doing the IBDP program as well as the WACE program. So for the IBDP program, it's both programs, they are 2 years program, and I think you are quite familiar with this program already, because they are actually being offered in most of the international schools. So for the international baccalaureate program itself, it is actually established in Geneva, and it has been almost 50 years. They have 50 years of history. So this is actually a 2 years program that is helping the students to they would emphasize the international mindfulness, as well as they prepare the students for universities and life in the society. So this is quite an interesting program. And for the Western Australian program itself, it's kind of like Western. It's actually the Australian system, and then they would have coursework being incorporated into the curriculum. So the course would develop the students' writing skills, regardless of their native languages. So the main difference is that there would be for the main difference between these 2 programs is actually different in terms of their way of studies, and then also their programs and the subjects will be a bit different. The subject will be a bit different. So this is the whole scope of our learning journey from primary 1 until year 12. And then we will be looking at the students' result. I will just showcase some of our students' results. For the primary program, we have only started the primary program since 2 years ago. So last year, we actually have gotten our first batch of graduates who sit for the Cambridge checkpoint exam. So on the left side, you will be seeing our students' average mark as compared to the global average. So for all the programs, we are actually doing exceptionally well. So we are quite happy with our first batch of primary 6 graduate students' results. And moving forward, we will be looking at the results and as well as the progression of our junior high school. So we have students who graduated from the O-Levels program who have gotten quite good points and went to some some of our local junior college as well as high school. And looking at the O-Level graduates, in our last cohort, 42% of our students are actually eligible to join a junior college. So 79%, almost 80% of them, they were actually eligible to join a polytechnic. So our graduates usually progress to polytechnics, junior college, as well as our own high school program. And if you look at the IGCSE program, for IGCSE program, some of our students, they have graduated as well. So they have gotten quite a good results. And then the places that they went to would be 33% of them actually got into, are actually eligible for local polytechnics. And then 1/3 of them actually scored at least 3 A's. So they would usually progress to our IB course, our base program, as well as the local polytechnics. So this is for the year 9 and year 10 students. And for our year 11 and year 12 senior high school, and as well as their results and progression. So last year, we have 35% of them are actually, of our graduates actually qualified to join Australia's top 8 universities. So this is for the Western Australian program. So almost we have 24% of them who actually got 90%, 90 ATA score 90 and above, which qualifies for them to join our local and US and NTU. So these are some of our past students and where they went to. So some of them, they went back to Hong Kong U, and then some of them went to UCL. And we also have students who got into our local NUS NTU, as well as one of them actually went to Cambridge 2 years ago. And this is the full picture of where our graduates usually go. Also, for St. Francis, other than the academic, they need to be good in academics. They would also need to be good as in terms of their characters and values. So we do have comprehensive student development programs, which we will take care of we will teach them about character, value, and then we do have a Christian ministry staff in our school as well. And we would also have a discipline and reward system. And we would be also doing the interest group, which is commonly known as the extracurricular activities, like club activities after school. So for this year, actually since last year, due to the pandemic, we have actually suspended the programs. So all the groups activity. So hopefully in the next few months, we will be able to resume it. So for the interest group, we would actually do sports such as basketball, soccer, ping pong, badminton, as well as arts club, photography club, and student council. So we have a total of 15 to 20 different kind of extracurricular groups. And we would also do student service learning, where our students would actually volunteer themselves into their community, and then they would do some of the volunteering job. And we would also train student leadership, as well as the usual physical education, arts, and technology. Okay, we do have a school council in our school, which provides counseling whenever the students need it. Also, we would be also doing the academic counseling, where the student would actually every time when they're at the stage to progress to the next level, let's say they are at year 8 and then they would like to know more about the different pathways for year 9 and year 10, which is IGCSE or O-Level or OSMED. They would see our academic counselor, and then there will be discussion as well as with the parents and there will be suggestions for the students to see like which program is much more suitable for them. So we would also do overseas students exchange, which unfortunately is being suspended as well for now. So during the past years, we have students from Thailand, from Japan, from Korea, who actually visited us, and then they as exchange students, and then they joined our classes. They would learn whatever our students are learning for 2 to 3 weeks time. So in exchange, our students also went back to their country as exchange students for 1 week to 2 weeks time, and then they would visit their school and then join their classes. So just an overview for our campus. So this is actually the outdoor as well as the indoor. And for our campus, we have a total of 6 levels, and we have a bookshop in our school, a cafeteria in our school, and also a multi-purpose hall and outdoor basketball court. Also, we have a library, and then the usual science labs for students, and then as well as the personal lockers. So these are some of the school facilities in San Francisco. Okay, so I have come to the end of our PowerPoint presentation.
好多謝阿 JS 嚟為我哋精彩嘅介紹啦，咁提供咗好多好詳細嘅內容啦，介紹翻聖法呢間學校啦，同埋佢哋嘅課程設置嘅。咁喺 JS 頭先嘅過程入邊咧，咁其實亦都收到好多唔少家長或學生嘅留言啦。咁最多學生佢哋或家長想了解嘅就係嗰個學費嗰方面嘅。咁可能 JS 可唔可以大致上同我哋講下聖法嘅中學同埋小學佢哋分別嘅學費係幾多錢咧
？Okay. So for the primary level, primary 1 to primary 6, it will be ranging from around 17 to 18,000 Sing dollar per year. So for the lower secondary school, it will be around 20,000 Sing dollar per year. So for the high school, which is the Western Australian or the IBDP program, it will be ranging from 23 to 29,000 per year Sing dollar.
咁其實個學費相對嚟講咧，都係相對嚟講比較實惠㗎。咁小學嘅話就大概係10萬蚊到啦，咁而初中大概11萬幾啦，未到12萬。咁高中咧其實都係大概未到14萬港幣左右嘅，所以其實相對嚟講咧，咁會係比較係可以好多嘅家庭咧都會係可以接受得到嘅，係啦。咁
但係除咗學費之外，會唔會有其他啲雜費啊，或者 boarding fee 啊咁樣嘅費用啊 ？JS
Okay, so other than the school fee itself, we would start from the first payment, which is actually the admission test fee. So when the students, they actually apply to us, they would have to sit for an admission test. So for the admission test fee, it would be around 400 Sing dollar per student.
Okay.
And so other than the test fee itself, there will be a second payment that it will be considered as an enrollment fee, which is applicable for those students who got offered by us after the admission test, and when they accepted our offer, they would actually pay this Sing dollar 963 to us, so that we will start to apply for the student pass and as well as proceed with other procedure. So that would be the second payment. So for the third payment would be the school fees that I have mentioned just now. So other than the school fees, the textbooks and the uniform, they are actually not included in the textbook in the school fees. So it's actually excluded. So for the textbooks, it would range from Sing dollar around 150 to around Sing dollar 500. And for the uniform, it depends on primary or secondary level. So primary, it should be around $30 per set, and for the secondary level, it should be around $50 per set. So these are some other fees that are not included. Correct.
咁都唔係好貴喎，
係啊，
加埋學費
清晰係啦，就係都係啲書簿費啊、校服費咁樣，都係正常嘅一啲大家學都要俾嘅費用啦。
係啦，咁 我哋到時會再做翻一個summary啦，咁可以俾家長咧咁清晰可以了解到聖法除咗學費之外咧，其他嘅雜費嘅，係啦。咁 JS 啊，咁頭先所講嘅學費啦，其實可唔可以做到一個係分期俾，定係一次過要俾晒㗎啦
？This will be a one-time payment, so it will be an annual payment.
OK， 所以學生申請入學即係開學之前就要俾晒呢一年嘅學費㗎啦。咁所以家長咧就要預留翻呢個資金啦，係啦。咁係開學之前咧，咁批咗學生準證開學之前就要俾呢個費用啦，學費。
咁最緊要都係想入到學啦。如果對聖法蘭西斯有興趣嘅話，咁 JS 我想問下關於安排入學考試嗰度啦。香港學生佢申請嘅渠道，或者應該話佢幾時去做 application 啊，跟住幾時會考試咁樣咧？幾時會攞到 offer 咁樣咧
Okay, so for us, I would start from our academic year. So our academic year actually starts from January to December. So along the year, throughout the year, we do accept students who join us late because we understand that different countries, they do have different academic years. So some would end in June, some would start their lessons actually in September, so things like that. So we do understand that. So we accept students. There will be 4 intakes per year. And because due to the COVID, and then we would actually accept the students whenever they can come in. So for now, whenever they are ready, and then they would submit an application online on our website. So they can submit an application online to us. And then once we have gotten all the documents and they are ready, then we will arrange for a test date. So for the test, it will be a written test and as well as an interview. So for written tests, it depends on the level. So some of them, they would have to sit for English and maths. So for higher level, they would go for English, math, and science paper, as well as an interview. So to arrange for this test, the first thing first, we will receive the application online. Then we will assess your documents, and then we will arrange for a test date. So for the test to be carried out, they can actually approach you. So they can come to you, and then they can actually come to your office. We will arrange for a test because you are actually our partner. So you are qualified to invigilate the test for us. So our students will come to your place, and then they will actually sit for the test, and then they will help us to do the invigilation. And then after that, once the offer is out within 7 working days, then we will actually advise the parents about it. So you have been offered to this level. So for now, do you want to accept our offer? If yes, we will proceed with the next step. So to apply a student pass, it would take around 1 month's time. So previously, before the pandemic, we would take actually 1 month's time for the student to come into Singapore. But because of this pandemic issue, other than the 1 month application time, we have to allocate for another 1 month's time for them to apply and to enter Singapore. So it will take another 1 month. And then after they come into Singapore, for students from Hong Kong, currently the quarantine period is actually 14 days. So they would have to come into this account, take the 14 days into account as well. So the whole procedure will actually take around 2.5 months time for them to actually come into our school. Yeah.
Okay. 所以有興趣咧係申請聖法嘅學生咧，咁就可以嚟到我哋中心啦，咁去考呢個入學試嘅，咁可以喺香港考呢個入學試啦，同埋係做一個Zoom 嘅視像嘅面試啦，係啦，咁所以就有興趣嘅學生咧就盡快咁就可以聯絡我哋啦，係啦。咁JS 啊，咁每次學生做完嗰個嘅 NG test 啦，同埋 interview 之後咧，幾時會知道佢哋嘅結果㗎
？It will be within 7 working days.
7個工作日就已經可以啦。
咁算快喎。
快啊！但係如果有學生例如考完啦，咁佢考唔過嘅，咁會直接係會唔錄取佢啊，定係學校會有時會點樣同佢哋傾㗎？會唔會即係例如有得留級啊，又或者唔得嘅，一定係要合格先至可以錄取嘅啫。
Yes, of course. For those students who maybe they can't, let's say if they are applying for year 9, but after we have assessed their results and then as well as their performance in the interview, things like that, then we realize that maybe the student is not ready to join the year 9. So we would actually offer them year 8 if it's possible. Of course, for them to if we want to offer them a lower level, we will also have to take note of their age because if the student is overaged, then they won't be qualified to go down a level. So in this case, we would have to reject the students. But usually, we will consider for the students to downgrade instead of reject them directly. Yeah, so we will assess them based on their admission test papers, the results, as well as their performance during the interview. So we do understand sometimes the students they have issue with English lesson. So they don't understand the questions, so they can't really answer it for, let's say, for the maths paper. Because the maths paper is in English as well. So maybe they have trouble understanding the question. So that's why they can't really do it. But if the question is in Chinese, or they can actually understand it. So we do take account into this. We would consider this as well. So we would look into the whole overall performance for the test as well as the interview. Yeah.
OK，
都明白成個面試同埋考試嘅流程啦。咁最緊要學生都報之前要了解自己嘅水平啦，咁準備得好啲啦，咁發揮得好啲咁就得嘅。咁都之後就交俾學校安排。
冇錯，同埋 JS 咁我知道咧，咁新加坡嘅中小學點解會咁受香港嘅家長歡迎？咁係因為佢哋有個陪讀嘅政策嘅。咁喺聖法讀書嘅話咧，咁家長係咪都可以係申請到呢個陪讀簽證？
Yes, they would be able to apply for it. So for the LTVP, the long-term visit pass, is actually applicable for the females in the family. So it will be either the mother or the grandmother of the child. Then once they have collected their student pass, the mom or the grandmother would actually be able to apply for this long-term visit pass. Yeah.
咁即是話咧，咁媽媽啦，同埋係嫲嫲祖母咧，總之女性嘅直系家屬咧，咁其實都係可以係申請到呢個陪讀簽證嘅喎。咁其實好方便，因為如果小學嘅話，咁其實都真係需要係屋企人照顧。係啊，冇錯。咁就呢個政策非常之好。係啦。咁喺新加坡咧，咁我知道啦，咁其實佢哋亦都有一個移民政策咧，都好歡迎啲中小學生嘅。咁我知道聖法啦，咁你哋嘅 O-Level 咧，咁其實係政府啦 MOE 入邊嘅學制嚟嘅。咁如果喺新加坡讀咗2年，就再通過埋呢個 O-Level 嘅話咧，咁其實學生係咪可以係申請 PR 咧？咁如果係嘅話，其實大概會唔會知道個分數線係幾多咧
？Actually, this is not really we have not been told about this for the cutoff points actually. So what we know is actually almost the same as yours. So basically, you would have to study for 2 years and then you would have to do a national test. You will have to sit for a national exam. So for the national exam in our school, it will be O-Levels. So this is this is true. And for as far as we know, that if the students are able to get the better result, the better. Yeah, so basically, if you can get good results, then it will stand a better chance. But we don't really have this very clear-cut instruction or information from the MOE about this.
Yes. OK， 咁係咪要其實根據你哋過往嘅經驗啦，係咪學生起碼要所有科目合格啦，佢先至會有咁嘅機會去申請到咧
？Basically, yes. So the student we would tell the students to at least pass all the subjects, and then also because they will need to pass the O-Levels, so that they are eligible to submit their application for the PR. Yes.
明白。
咁然後 O-Level 之後啦，咁學校嘅高中就係 IB 課程啦。咁最近呢幾年學校嘅 IB 成績如何啊？即係嗰個學生表現嘅分數，啲家長都會好想知道。
To be honest, our IB program has just started last year. So we don't really have the results yet. We would have our first batch of IBDP graduates this year. So we will only get to see the result next year. So currently we don't have the results. Yeah.
我哋都會繼續留意。咁係啦，到時 GS 可以再話俾你聽啦。而家有
係啦。咁我知道聖法咁佢哋之前咧，咁亦都有好多雖然 IB 係啱啱新開啦，咁其實都有西澳嗰個高中課程啦。咁其實喺2019年同埋2020年啦，過往2年咧，有幾多嘅高中嘅畢業生咧係能夠入到係國立大學同埋南洋理工咧？因為我哋知道咧，呢兩間嘅學校咧係亞洲第一同第二啦。咁所以其實好多家長去到新加坡咧，都係希望可以入到呢兩間嘅大學。咁喺聖法讀書嘅話，咁有幾大機率可以入到去呢兩間大學咧？
Okay, for the past year, our students who actually gotten for the WASTE program, the program almost like 24 to 25% of them are actually eligible to apply into NUS or MTV. So it's around one quarter of it, yeah.
咁都好高喎。
係啊，1/4嘅學生都能夠達到呢個國大南大嗰個申請嗰個水平線啦，
到世界一流嘅大學。
係啦，
咁樣咁都想問嘅，因為有小學部同中學部啦。咁關於一般學生過到嚟，然後佢哋住宿嘅安排，即管就算係媽媽同佢一齊陪讀又好，或者高中生佢哋家庭嘅情況係點樣樣？
Okay, for the accommodation, it depends on the parent as well as the student. So our students do stay in the hostel, but the hostel only accepts 12 years old and above. So for the primary school students, they would either stay in homestays together with their guardians, or they would stay with their relative, or most of the time because their moms are here, so they would actually rent a place nearby our school, and then they will stay with their moms. Yeah.
咁因為咧頭先就Jess 提到啦，咁就係住宿方面咧，咁可能如果父母過去陪佢哋讀咧，咁就可以可能就佢哋喺學校附近啦，咁就租屋住啦。咁但係萬一家長唔過去啦，咁學生可能需要揾寄宿嘅家庭或者監護人的話咧，學校會唔會有提供到協助咧？
Yes, of course, sure. Yeah, we do have a list of contacts like for guardians as well as for the homestays. So if the parents or the students they will need some recommendations, of course we will recommend them. So there's no worries in this.
好，咁 GS 我想問下啦，你學校即係聖法蘭西斯會唔會有獎學金可以俾學生去申請嘅咧？同埋有冇話咩年級先可以申請？
If we're talking about the scholarships, the scholarships are available for the existing students. So we would require the students to join us because for us to actually assess them, academically as well as their overall performance in the school, whether they're active. So we will assess them based on this, and then then they would be able to apply for the scholarship the second year. So during the second year, and it's available for year 9 and above.
咁所以大家第一年學習表現好啲，就有機會申請到個獎學金。
冇錯，係啦。咁因為咁小朋友如果佢有唔舒服嘅話咧，學校入邊會唔會有自己嘅醫療嘅人員係可以係幫助到學生咧？
Okay, so for us we do have a sick bay. So and then we would also have a few staff who are trained in first aid. So they know how to do some emergency first aid service as well as also they would we will have the sick day for the students to take a rest. So anytime when the student is not feeling well, we would actually contact their parent or their guardian who would be able to come to school to fetch the students as soon as possible. So if the student would just need to take a rest, they would be resting in the sick bay. But if they are really not feeling well, then we think that they need to see a doctor. We will contact their guardian as well as their parent, and then they will come and fetch them to see the doctor. Yeah.
所以學生如果唔舒服咧，咁就可以去學校嘅醫療室啦。咁但係如果真係好嚴重嘅話，咁其實都係建議係學生咧要去睇醫生，咁去做一個詳細嘅檢查啦，了解係啦嗰個原因啦。咁
跟住有啲家長揀學校啦，都會想了解學校嘅學 生比例特別出國讀書啦，即係例如會分別有幾多嘅唔同國家嘅學生咁樣嘅。咁 GS 而家學校嘅學生比例係點嘅情況
？We have almost like 90% of our students are actually international students. So most of them, they are from the Southeast Asian country. So you would see a lot of them from Korea, from Japan, from China, and then Indonesia, Vietnam, so Thailand. So it's and then recently we do have a few from Malaysia. So it's mostly the Southeast Asian country students. So we occasionally do have students from Russia. Last time we do have students from Germany. Yeah.
其實喺聖法嗰度讀書，其實就可以體驗到新加坡呢個多元文化嘅特質啦。佢嚟自可能唔同嘅東南亞或者係其他嘅國家嘅學生會居多啦。咁從中其實可以認識到唔同國家嘅文化。其實對於學生嚟講，其實係一件好事嘅體驗。咁我想問下咧，咁學生嘅話，佢哋嗰個每日嘅時間表係會係點樣㗎？因為我知道咧，新加坡政府嗰啲學咧，佢哋嘅時間表係要好早返學，咁佢哋嘅時間會係好緊密啦。咁喺聖法讀書嘅話咧，咁幾點返學？咁個中午時間幾多啊？咁同幾點會放學㗎？
Okay, so for us, we are operating almost the same, almost very similar with our local schools. So we would request the student to be in school before 7:45 a.m. every morning. Then we will start our lesson at 8 a.m. For the primary school, they would end their lesson at around 2 p.m. every day. So for the secondary and high school students, they would usually end their lessons between 2:30 to 4. So it's actually depending on their timetable every day. So there will be some difference, but the latest should be around 4 to 5 p.m.
咁都同香港返學嘅時間差唔多，都好易適應嘅。
冇錯係。咁但係咧，而家因為疫情啦，咁所以其實而家學校係已經恢復翻面授啊，還是其實係網上學習嘅？
Okay, so for us, we have resumed our lessons in school since June last year. So all of our students are actually back to our school to study. So the lessons are conducted face to face.
OK， 咁已經即係證明其實新加坡嗰份做得好好，因為其實即使有好多其他嘅熱門嘅留學生啦，即使你可以飛過去嘅話，其實都未必係面授嘅。咁所以而家新加坡咧，佢哋已經係基本係喺聖法邊咧已經全面恢復翻面授授課㗎啦。咁就喺疫情期間啦，咁其實聖法咁其實會有啲乜嘢嘅防疫措施去保障翻國際留學生咧？
So in our school, every morning when the student arrive at the school, the first thing that they will need to do is to register their entrance. So in Singapore currently, all of us, we would either have an app, a mobile app, or there's this token that they will need to bring everywhere. So they will be using the token or the mobile app to check in. So whenever we go, whichever shop, whichever shopping mall, or whichever place we go, we will actually register our entrance. So same as our school. So since last year when we have resumed the lessons in school, the students are actually required to register their entrance. Then we would also take their temperature, and then to make sure that they don't have fever. Then only they can step into the school. This is one thing. So other than that, we have also limited the number of visitors. So all the visitors are supposed to make an appointment with our staff before they are able to come into our school. So before that, we will also ask them if they have been to if they have been overseas, and then when did they arrive in Singapore. So we will do the necessary checks, and then as well as the usual temperature check before we let them into the school. Yeah.
咁我了解到好多達到標準嘅一個措施有做到啦。咁我相信家長同學生都可以好放心咁送學生去聖法蘭西嗰度可以上堂嘅。係咁，仲有
add in more for the way that we are conducting our lessons as well as the changes in our school since the COVID. So Other than that, in the classroom, we have actually previously they would sit their table would be placed like 2 by 2. So now we will make sure that they have 1 meter distance between tables, and they would have daily wipe downs. So they would be they would also eat their lunch and everything on their desk. So instead of mingling in the canteen, we would actually ask them to go back to their classrooms for their meal. And then also we have also reduced all the mass gathering activities, and then we change everything to virtual, such as celebrations, things like that. We have made everything to virtual celebrations.
OK 咁仲有好多喺課室裏邊嘅一啲好好嘅安排添。咁除此之外，即係除咗係入學校啊，同埋個人體位之外，仲好多好 details 嘅注意嘅。咁就確保所有學生都唔會有一個疫情嘅係啦危險。
安全第一啦，而家目前嚟講係啦。好啊，咁我哋今日咧好多謝阿 Jess 啦，咁係代表聖法啦，咁我哋家長介紹學校啦，亦都解答咗我哋咁多個問題喎。咁所以學生如果你哋之後咧嚟緊想申請7月份啦，或者係明年1月份入學嘅話咧，咁其實而家就可以盡快聯絡翻我哋啦，咁我哋可以幫你去做一個評估，然後就安排嗰個入學考試嘅。咁我哋今日咧亦都好多再次多謝阿 Jess 啦，咁嚟到我哋頻道啦，為我哋係解答同介紹嘅，多謝。
Thank you.
多謝 Jess。